Has Volkswagen beaten Tesla again with this?
The new ID.7 Tourer?
I'm going to tell you how this new car wins in every measurable way apart from one. And it's a pretty significant thing too. As the estate version to the ID.7 Fastback that I've already driven, Volkswagen's newcomer is a rival to the BMW i5 Touring and the yet unreleased Audi A6 e-tron. It slots into a category that starts with the 30k and therefore great value MG5 and ends with the 80k plus Taycan Sport Turismo, also known as Porsche's big boot rocket ship on wheels, with an anticipated starting price of about 55 grand or more if Volkswagen decides to launch the Tourer with a higher base spec.
The new ID.7 Tourer
sits comfortably above the 40 grand plus Vauxhall Astra Electric Sports Tourer and closely priced Peugeot E308 SW, and well below the 70k BMW i5 Touring. The closest in pricing is from group sibling Audi, the A6 e-tron, which is expected to cost about £60,000 when it lands later this year, leaving the ID.7 Touring looking like great value for money. That said, if the ID.7 price range is still too high, there is also the Volkswagen ID.4, which, as I film this, can be had from under £28,000 with only 10,000 miles on the clock, which is more than 13 grand off from new. But back to the ID.7. That good value feeling is extended, excuse the pun, with the Touring's longer roofline and much larger boot. Compared to the ID.7 Fastback, which we've already put up against my Tesla Model S in a recent video, find the link on screen or in the description, Volkswagen's electric Touring has 1,714 litres of total storage space with the seats down, an extra 128 litres, and it has enough floor space for someone 6 feet tall to lay down in. Wow. Even with the seats up, you get 605 litres, which is 73 litres more than the Fastback. It looks technically strong too, with an entry-level 77 kWh battery and an 86 kWh battery for the Pro S model. So the ID.7 Tourer has a headline range figure of an anticipated 425 miles, suggesting, on paper at least, that the ID.7 will shame the BMW i5 Touring and its comparably measly 357 miles of WLTP range. However, there is a big but to mention, and it's not the one on its back end. Like the ID.7 Fastback, the entry-level version of the Touring is expected to have something closer to 385 miles of range, and that's on paper. In the real world, as those who've watched our ID.7 review will know, the number can be smaller still.
So in reality, the range gap between the ID.7 Tourer and the i5 Touring
might not be so big. And dare I say it, the i5 Touring might just edge it on handling too, because BMW's on a bit of a roll with its EVs, creating the great to drive i4 and physics-bending iX SUV. At least Tesla doesn't have a direct rival for the ID.7 Touring, with Elon Musk's brand preferring to go up rather than extending out when creating more cabin space. The Model S is close in size to the ID.7 Fastback, but the smaller Model 3 is more comparable in price. And there's no estate version of that car, just a taller Model Y. Has Tesla dropped the ball with that one? Let us know in the comments below. As for charging speeds, it's standard stuff for 2024 here. A claimed 10 to 80% rapid charge time of under 30 minutes is competitive because the ID.7 Touring can work with 200 kilowatt plugs, just like the Fastback. And of course, just like the Fastback, this new estate gets VW's much improved digital infotainment system, complete with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, ChatGPT powered voice control tech that actually works, and no shortage of storage space up front. But it does also retain those fiddly slider heating controls, which are so annoying, although at least they are backlit so you can see them in the dark. That slight disappointment brings me to the bigger one I mentioned at the start, and that's performance. My drive in the ID.7 Fastback showed that the car is certainly quick enough to put a smile on your face.
Ooh, you can feel the rear wheels skidding up a bit.
But it is far from able to provide the thump in your back that pretty much all Teslas can do. With 286 horsepower and 545 Newton meters of torque, there's plenty of muscle. Certainly enough for a towing capacity of 1,200 kilograms of brake trailer, but with close to 2.2 tons of car, there's also plenty of weight to shift. Plus, as I found out in the ID.7 Fastback, Volkswagen's regen system, which takes energy back into the battery, didn't provide as much resistance as I'd expected, meaning I still needed to use the brakes in all but very slow speed travel, so you can't use one pedal driving that much.
I wish they added a little bit more adjustability into that regen mode.
A shame. Nevertheless,
I have high hopes for the ID.7 Tourer because I love big practical estates with a lot of muscle.
Although if you prefer SUVs, check out our video here with some of the best options out there.